Okay, ISO number 3. Go ahead and get bordered. Pause if you need to. Name in all caps, bottom right. First initial dot last name. Bottom left, we're going to go block number 3. Okay. Pause and catch up to me if you need to. And then here is the block. 4 inches wide, 3 1/4 tall, 1 inch by 1 inch on these cutouts. This one's not dimensioned, so I just assume that it is the same. And then to get this dimension and this dimension, I'm just going to do 3 1/4 the overall height minus 1, so I know this has to be 2 1/4, 2 1/4. Okay? I haven't mentioned this yet. These are just the numbers of the blocks, the number that's circled. Hope that's not throwing anybody off. And the depth, 1.5 all the way around. Okay? Let's mess with scaling a little bit. We haven't done that yet. Let's go top right, ratio equals 1 to 2, which means 1 inch on my original on the what I'm drafting equals 2 units on the ISO paper. Okay, basically I'm drawing it at double scale. I'm doubling these numbers before I draw them. Okay, find a starting point. Probably need to go a little bit to the right of the middle and about a third of the way up your drawing. We're going a little bit to the right this time because it's double scale and front view is going to take up a little more room. Okay. Now let's just get started. Width is 4, but I'm going to double that because of my scale. So I'm going to go 8 for this width. I'm doing this line right now. I do front view first, and to do front view I use the X and the Y. So I want to show width on my X, so I'm actually going to go 8 units to get the scale right. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Draw that in. Okay. And then this height is going to be this height minus this height. So 3 1/4 minus 1 is going to be 2 1/4. If I double 2 1/4, it's going to be 4.5. 4.5. So I'm going to go up 4.5 on my graph paper. I'm going to go ahead and do that on both left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Bring it down. Right side. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Bring it down. Okay. There's my 2 ends. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in on both sides. 1 inch. Double that number to get my scale right. So 2 units. And I'm at a half. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then from here, 1, 2, so I got both those. Okay. Now I need this height. It's 1 inch. I'm going to double it to get my scale right, so I'm going to go up 2 at both locations. I'm at a half now, so 1, 2, 1, 2, connect. That's a little above half. I should probably bump that down. That line should be down just a hair. One thing that I noticed, the biggest thing done wrong on the first two ISO blocks was lines that were not on or parallel to any axes. These are all straight lines, and unless I had a shape with like circles or curves or some funny angles, then I'd have lines just going out any direction. But all of these lines should be right on either the X, the Y, or the Z, or at least parallel to them. Okay, so if you have a line just going sideways or at a weird angle that's not following any axes, it's probably wrong. Okay, so find which axes you're using and make sure you stay on. Now I just need to show my depth. I'm going to show my depth from this corner. I'm not going to do this corner because it would be hidden. This corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner. I need to show depth. Depth is 1.5. So I'm going to double that and go 3. Here's my easiest one to do because it's right on an intersection. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This one is not on an intersection, but I'm still going to parallel the Z. And this is what a lot of you guys were doing wrong on the first ISO. It would just kind of go wherever, and you kind of got lost because you weren't right on an axis line. It's still got to follow these Z's and stay parallel to them. Alright, so just look at where you're starting, and the next time you're at that same location will be 1, 2, 3. Okay. Look at where you're starting. Find the next spot on the graph paper that looks like that. 1, 2, 3. Up here, find where you're at. Go 1, 2, 3. Right here, find where you're at. Go 1, 2, 3. And then this one is actually just going to go back here and disappear behind that one. I'll show you what I mean. If I go from this corner to this dot, it's going to go ahead and pick all that up for me. I'll go ahead and do it, and I think it'll make more sense. That's how that would look. This line's going to come back 3 units. This line would come back 3 units, but it just disappears behind that. Okay? And then you just need to connect the backs of all these. There to there. There to there. There to there. There to there. And then you just need to do all the Z's. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines to add. That one. This one. This one. And this one. Okay, so that would be, you can see how that would be a 3D view of that one. That's ratio 1:2, double scale. I want to zoom in on it. If you need to go through and count those blocks, please do. Just the biggest thing to double check, make sure everything's either parallel or on an X, a Y, or a Z axis. Okay? Make sure none of them are just going off into weird random no man's land.